You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Feel like who art Ed?
Try to slice it.
Who art is Mr. Wood art Ed me?
Good. Either way, it's ambiguous. It works on so many levels.
I know.
That's off to a great start.
Welcome to Who Arted, weekly art history for all ages. I'm your host, Kyle Wood. Now, today we're going to be looking at Zaria Forman. Before I get started on the mini episode, though, I want to remind everyone that this week, voting is open for round 1 of my annual Arts Madness tournament. We have 64 diverse artists in 32 matchups with one simple question: which is better? Every week, half will be eliminated until only one is left standing. Please go to whoartedpodcast.com/vote to weigh in on this week's matches, and please tell your friends about the tournament. It's a lot of fun trying to figure out how we can even compare such different works, and it can spark some great conversations about what makes art great. Now, on with the show. Zaria Forman is a contemporary artist whose breathtaking, realistic, large-scale pastel drawings capture the fragile beauty of landscapes threatened by climate change. She was born October 29th, 1982, in South Natick, Massachusetts. She says growing up, there was always crayons and other media around for her to draw with. It was an artistic household. Her mother, Rena Bass Forman, was a fine art photographer who dedicated her life to capturing the remote and awe-inspiring landscapes of the world. The family traveled extensively, exploring some of the most untouched corners of the globe, from the arid deserts of the American Southwest to the icy expanses of the Arctic. Rena's photographic process involved meticulous planning and a deep engagement with the environment. She would spend weeks, sometimes months, in a single location, studying the light, the weather patterns, and the unique characteristics of that landscape. This dedication to observation and the intimate connections she forged with her subjects profoundly influenced Zaria's own artistic approach. Zaria learned to see the world through an artist's lens, to appreciate the power of light and shadow, and to understand the importance of capturing the essence of the place and not just its visual appearance. Now, the use of soft pastels as Zaria Forman's primary medium is a defining characteristic of her work. Unlike brushes or other tools, pastels allow for a direct tactile connection with the artwork. Forman works primarily with her fingers and palms, smudging and blending the pigments directly onto the paper. This hands-on approach creates a unique intimacy and allows for an incredibly subtle layering of color and tone, resulting in the hyper-realistic detail that defines her drawings. It's a physically demanding process, requiring hours of meticulous work. She has said she might spend upwards of 200 hours on a single drawing. It's grueling, but it's also deeply meditative and allows Forman to connect with the artwork on a visceral level. The choice of pastels also reflects the ephemeral nature of the landscapes she depicts. Just as the glaciers are melting and the sea ice is breaking apart, the pastel itself is a delicate medium, susceptible to smudging and fading. This fragility of the material mirrors the vulnerability of the environments Forman is portraying, subtly reinforcing the message of the impermanence and the urgency for preservation. Tragically, just as Zaria was planning a trip to Greenland, her mother fell victim to a brain tumor. The two had been planning the trip together, but Rena's health rapidly deteriorated, and it became clear that she wouldn't be able to make the journey. In the face of this devastating loss, Zaria made a vow to her mother. She would complete the Greenland project in her stead. This promise became the driving force behind Forman's most ambitious and emotionally charged body of work, Chasing the Light. In August 2012, Forman embarked on her journey to Greenland, following in her mother's footsteps and carrying her artistic legacy with her. She traveled along the northwest coast of Greenland, sketching, photographing, and immersing herself in the stark, awe-inspiring beauty of the Arctic landscape. She witnessed firsthand the dramatic effects of climate change. Colossal icebergs separating from the glaciers, vast expanses of melting sea ice, and the subtle but profound shifts in the delicate Arctic ecosystem. The drawings that emerged from this journey are monumental in scale, some spanning up to 10 feet wide. She chose this large format to immerse the viewer in the scene and convey the overwhelming and awe-inspiring feel of the landscape. Forman meticulously recreates the intricate textures of ice and water, the subtle gradations of light and shadow, and the breathtaking colors of the Arctic sky. She doesn't just depict the scene. She captures its essence, its mood, and the emotional weight of its impermanence. While the drawings are executed in her studio, the process begins in the field, where she gathers visual information through photography and sketches. She takes thousands of photographs, capturing every detail of the landscape from multiple angles. These photographs serve as a crucial reference point, but they're not the only reference point. She also relies heavily on her memory and her emotional response to the environment. She seeks to recreate not just what she saw, but how it felt, the chill of the Arctic air, the vastness of the open space, and the sense of awe and wonder in the face of such natural beauty. Back in her studio, Forman begins the painstaking process translating these experiences to paper. She starts with detailed underdrawing, outlining the basic composition, blocking in the major forms. She works in small sections, meticulously blending and smudging the pigments with her fingers, creating the seamless transitions and subtle gradations of color that give her drawings the lifelike quality. The level of detail in Forman's work is extraordinary. She captures intricate patterns of cracks and fissures in the ice, the delicate ripples on the surface of the water, and the subtle variations in the color of the sky. It's a testament to her technical skill, sure, but her work is so much more than simply flaunting her masterful drawing abilities. She's driven by a deep-seated belief in the power of art to inspire change. She understands that statistics and scientific reports are important, but they often fail to connect with people on that emotional level. And as Forman says, people make most of their decisions based on emotion more than anything else. And art has the ability to bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the heart. By showcasing the breathtaking beauty of these endangered landscapes, she hopes to inspire people to protect them. Forman wants people to fall in love with these places, even if they never have the opportunity to visit them in person. She believes that if people feel that personal connection to the environment, they'll be more likely to take action to preserve it.
This concludes this week's episode of Who Arted, part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. If you found this tolerable, please leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. You can find images of the work being discussed this week and every week on social media at Who Arted Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course on the website whoartedpodcast.com. Podcast done.